Well, the High Line opened to the public in June of 2009, and there had always been a desire to have public art on the High Line. It was, I think, from the very first conception of the park, it was important for there to be public art as part of the visitor experience. And Friends of the High Line partnered with Creative Time on two installations, the very first work of art to go in the park by Spencer Finch, and then a piece that opened in 2010, a sound piece by Stephen Vitiello. And in a way, I think because these were so successful, Friends of the High Line decided that they really wanted to expand the art program and grow it and to hire a full-time curator on staff. So I joined the staff of Friends of the High Line just 1 month before the park opened in May of 2009.
What is special about this project for you as a curator?
Well, you know, doing public art is very different from working in a museum or gallery, and my experience was actually more in nonprofit spaces and museums. And I think also doing art on the High Line is really unique because it's unlike any other park. It's really very special in its design and its layout and its structure. It's unlike any other space. And you know, one of the interesting things about the High Line is that the line between public and private space is very thin. You know, you have this structure that literally passes through or underneath buildings in certain places, and it's not an enclosed space really. When you're in the park, the experience is about the city that's surrounding you. You know, the park is so beautiful and the plantings and the design, but really the line between the park and the surrounding space is almost non-existent. And so I think the public art program really needs to be similar in that way, where we have art in the park, but we're also working with some of the privately owned real estate in the area. And so today we're debuting a new project by Kim Beck, and her piece is entitled Space Available, and it contains 3 sculptures that are placed on rooftops of buildings that are adjacent to or across the street from the park. And I'm really excited about this project because we're moving off of park property and into the neighborhood. And as I said, it's really so appropriate because the experience here on the High Line is about the neighborhood as well.
How many art projects did you already realize?
There have been about 7 commissions to date, and some of them were partnerships with other organizations. As I mentioned, we partnered with Creative Time on 2 pieces. We also did something with Performa in November of 2009. But most of the pieces that we presented have been our own commissions that are really unique to the organization.
So the future of the High Line, because it gets extended, I think in autumn.
That's correct. We're expanding the park. Right now, the part of the High Line that's open is Section 1, and it's the equivalent of about 9 city blocks. And in late spring, we're opening Section 2, which will add another 10 blocks onto the park. And that will open in late spring of this year. And when that's open, the park will be a mile long.
Is it difficult sometimes to realize the projects because, as you said, it's middle in the city, and I guess some legal things that you have to consider. How do you get along with this?
It is challenging working in the public realm, more so I think than a museum or gallery. And we do have to work with a lot of partners, private building owners, as well as various city agencies. The High Line is under the jurisdiction of the New York City Parks Department, and so we partner with them on everything we do. But then depending upon the project, sometimes we have to work with additional city agencies. So with Kim Beck, because we were placing sculpture on rooftops, we had to get proper permits from the Department of Buildings. And in addition, it just so happens that all 3 sculptures are installed in the landmarked area, so we also had to work with the city's Landmark Preservation Commission, as well as work with the owners of those 3 buildings. And we were very fortunate to find 3 really generous and open-minded building owners who allowed us to put art on their rooftops.
So, can you give us already an outlook? What's going to happen in the not only the eye line extension, but art-wise? Do you already know what's going to be installed?
Well, we're working on several projects right now. One of the aspects of Highline art that's really important to us is that it incorporates a wide variety of mediums. So I think, when most people think of public art, they think of sculpture, but and we certainly have done sculptural work, but we want the program to be very, very broad-ranging. So we've done pieces in photography and sound and performance, and we will continue to do so. So for example, right now I'm working on a project with an artist named Julian Swartz, and it's going to be a sound piece that will greet park visitors with computer-generated voices. At points throughout the park, including the entry points, the elevators. It will greet park visitors with these digital messages of love and empathy and support. And I'm also working with the artist Sarah Z to create a new sculptural installation that will be in the new section. And this will be an installation that flanks the walking path and sort of an archway that shapes space that viewers will be able to pass through. And also coming up in June, Trisha Brown Dance Company is going to do a dance performance on rooftops next to the High Line. It's a recreation of a 40-year-old piece entitled Roof Piece. Trisha Brown originally did this piece in 1971 in Soho, and now we're going to recreate it on rooftops around the High Line. It's such an exciting space, and the High Line is really unlike any other park. I mean, in its design, it's a beautifully designed park. Aesthetics are obviously an important part of the experience. I think that's immediately apparent to visitors. But also, the High Line passes through these very culturally important neighborhoods, the Meatpacking District and Chelsea. These are really vital centers for visual art, design, dance, theater. We've got two major museums are building new buildings down here. The Whitney will be coming soon, and Dia is also working on a new building here. And of course, there are all of these wonderful performance spaces, such as the kitchen. So we felt it was really important for this park that cuts through these neighborhoods to also become an important cultural center.